show you a team lift, and you are going to find out exactly why Brett likes to ride with me. Because it turns out I make an excellent counterweight. Okay? So Mark, what I'm going to have you do,
right.
The best way I've found, if you can get a handle back here and on the bar here, okay, right? And then what you're going to do is go that way. Okay? What I'm going to do is hang right here, and you see as soon as I step on the bike, it puts the tire on the ground. Oh. Now we just lean back. I'm not pulling, because if I start pulling, it actually pulls me in closer to the center. Let it back down. All the way? Yep. If he starts picking it up and I start pulling this way, I actually pull myself in closer to the bike. If I can keep my weight farther out this way, the better off we are. And you can see I can just about get this thing by myself.
You got a good power base.
Yep. Ready?
Picking up a sailboat.
Exactly.
Very little effort, just using body weight. But it's very important that I don't
I didn't even have
pull.
to stand up. Lazy first.
Exactly.
Well, actually, we refer to it as nature's way.
Yeah. Path of least resistance.
If it keeps going and you're underneath it, is there another technique?
So if you notice, when I was doing it, I was just hanging off it. And when I do this with other people that I meet on the trail, I don't hang back with just my butt, because if they've picked the bike up before, because they're expecting to lift a big heavy bike, and they will try to throw it on you because they don't realize how light it. Have you picked this up before?
Yeah.
How much lighter was it with me hanging off of it?
Oh, so much lighter.
Exactly. The other thing you'll notice, Brett and I carry Velcro straps. Acts as a parking brake. So you can strap that front wheel so it doesn't turn.
Oh, what a smart. Yeah, awesome.
Or roll away when you get it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Otherwise, when you're lifting, it starts rolling
Starts to
to
turn,
the side.
right.
Yeah.
So the other technique to keep the bike from getting thrown on you, if it's on the other side, you can put the side stand down. That helps. That way the side stand stops it. But the other thing, I will throw this leg back. And then as he starts to lift, I still don't put this knee on the ground. I let him lower me to the ground. But this way, if he does decide to throw it at me, I've got something to push against to catch it.
How many bikes have you had dropped on you?
None. I don't even know. So if you are going to pick it up yourself, a couple of methods. Like I said, I usually just can grab the handles and drive into it. The other thing, if it's a little heavier bike, what I will do again, because I want the tires on the ground. So if I have to do this solo, what I'm going to do is put the bike on my lap so that I can ramp this thing up a little bit and get the tires towards the ground here. Then I want to reach down low and get a hold of something.
If you can't see, make sure you guys come up here so you can see. Yeah.
And where I'm grabbing on
Don't
down
stay away.
here,
Right.
I'm trying to get low enough on the bike that I can, well, let's flip it over the other side.
It's going to do it again anyway. So yeah, exactly.
So from here, if I can walk the tires down to the ground, it gives me something to push against. And then what I'm going to do is reach down as low as I can and grab a hold of something. It's not for me to lift here. What my hands are doing is keeping my chest against the seat.
He's
Because
going to be all the way down here. He's going to be down here.
Yeah,
So he's
if I
full
get down
extended
here,
underneath the bike. Fully
and
extended.
if I'm not holding on, what happens is when I start pushing, I end up doing this. And then I'm trying to lift here. So what my arms do when I lock in down there, all I'm doing is holding on to keep my chest here so that I can drive that direction. And what I end up doing is instead of lifting, you get here, and now I'm just going to drive my hips into it and straighten up. And then once the bike gets partially up there, then I can just walk under it.
Do any of you do deadlifts? You're familiar with deadlift? So it's a hip thrust.
I was
That's
just
essentially,
thinking that.
yeah, if you watch here, you'll see his position. He gets into a position so he can just basically push his hip forward, and then that lifts the bike.
So you never get up on your feet and stay on your knees.
Yep.
There's different ways. Because
Well, and if the side
traction,
stands down,
angle,
I can
level,
push it over to the
but
side
this is
stand.
one way, yeah.
If I'm lifting from the other side, once I get it balanced here, it doesn't take any effort to hold this thing up. So from here, now I can stand up. If I need to get on the other side to get on the high side of the bike or whatever, then I can move around the bike, which you're going to practice this later. But then I can get to where I need to be to do whatever.
So one of the, he just brought up, he kind of mentioned, he goes, well, Paul never actually gets up off the ground. And yes and no. So you could do the same process, but actually be above the bike. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'll start down low, same as Paul, except instead of being underneath the bike, I'm going to be here, and then that way, I love these 850s. What you see is that my back is straight, my legs are underneath, so this way I push across the bike.
And you'll notice his back doesn't change.
Yeah, so I'm going across, and that allows me to come up and high, and then the same thing. Once you get to here, I'm pressing with the hip against the bike. It's not my arms. But this, the arms are straight. These are still the same thing. Instead of being underneath and locked and pushing in, I'm locked here, and it's like a deadlift, where I'm from here, I get into position, and once I go from here, then it's my hip that picks up the bike, not my upper body, not my arms. By the way, this is one of the classification of bikes it sucks for picking up.
Yep, this and the Africa Twin are a couple of the
Africa
worst.
Twins, 1290s, there's a few that are relatively top heavy.
Is that an 850?
This is an 850, yeah. The 1200s are easier.
How about
The
that
790s
multi-strata,
easier.
though?
Huh?
How about the multi-strata? That's a beast.
Oh yeah, that's If you're not already a subscriber, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now down below. Don't miss out on any future lessons or any future reviews that are coming up. This lesson was recorded during the most recent rider training, adventure rider training that Paul and I conducted in Oregon State in the United States, and is just a sample of the types of lessons that we do when we're teaching adventure riders around this country or around the world. Thanks for watching, and remember, no matter how bad things seem while you're out riding your adventure bike, smile while you ride, because attitude really matters.